Welcome back to the channel. As you can see, it is a dreary, rainy morning here in Texas. Wait, that can't be right. This is Texas, right? It doesn't rain in Texas. Anyway, I'm not sure what's going on. It is definitely raining here in Texas. It's a nice, dreary, early morning. It is a whole 3 days since we last made a video and worked on the car. We put the rev limiter in and we rebuilt the suspension, made ourselves miserable. It sucked really bad. I was hoping to drive this car for quite a while. That didn't happen. Last night I went to pick up the boy and his sister, and I rarely get to drive the Mustang at night, so I decided to take it for a little ride to pick them up. I decided I was going to check out the new shift light placement, make sure it wasn't going to blind me at night. Good news, it doesn't blind me, so that was nice. I like the placement of the shift light, but unfortunately this happened. I'm not 100% sure what happened exactly. My guess is that the clutch quadrant broke. At least that's what happened the last time I had this problem, 25 years ago or something like that. I was pulling out of the house onto the roadway, started accelerating. When I hit the clutch, something popped, the car lurched, and then I realized I was in neutral, the clutch wasn't engaging. Somehow I managed to get lucky and get it into second gear. I guess I rev matched it. I was feathering the throttle back and forth, and somehow I got it wedged into second gear, which happens to be the gear that I needed to get it up the hill back to the house. And I turned around, came back, just had to drop it off, grab my other car, and go get the kids. As you can see, the clutch pedal's pretty messed up. It was completely stiff before, it was completely engaged. It feels like I have some clutch engagement right in here, so I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm going to climb up under the dash and see what we have going on. Well, I'm going to as soon as it quits raining. Clearly it is not going to quit raining, and the forecast says it is not going to quit raining. So I managed to actually pull it up under this cover a little bit. I went to move it, not even thinking that the whole reason I'm trying to move it is I don't have a clutch that works. I started it in neutral and then it's like, uh-oh, what am I going to do? The clutch does engage, just barely. I was able to get it to move just a little, but there's definitely something going on here. So I'm not even 100% sure it's the quadrant now. Now it feels like it might actually be the clutch itself, which, oh, man, that would be our luck. Definitely sounds like something is going on underneath the car. Possibly with the clutch itself. That's not a good thing. Well, I've not been underneath the car or anything, but just looking here at the firewall, I can already see a problem, and that is that I can see our clutch cable exposed. That's not supposed to be that way. We do have a clutch cable, the cover that mounts to the transmission. So it is gone, apparently. I cannot get the camera to zoom in on that. For some reason, it will not do it. But anyway, the clutch cable cover is gone. We're not supposed to be able to see our clutch cable and our pivot arm and everything. Everything up here seems to be okay. I guess I'll go ahead and look under the dashboard. I am really struggling to get my rather voluptuous frame in here to see what's going on. I can't even see the clutch quadrant. I don't remember it being that way. I was pretty sure I should be able to see what's going on from right here. I discovered the problem. After some digging, I was able to find the clutch pedals from my old car, and there is my, I think that's a BBK clutch quadrant, if I remember correctly. But this is what was wrong, is I was looking up here against the clutch cable for the connection for the clutch quadrant, and it's around over here above the gas pedal. So I guess I'll crawl back under the car and take another look. See, this is what happens when you don't mess with these things for so many years. I forgot something as simple as where the clutch quadrant was located. I was looking up at the clutch pedal, and wow, that's one of them our fancy neutral safety switches that we don't have in this car. Huh. I cannot tell what is going on up there, but it looks like we have an aftermarket clutch quadrant already. Yeah, looks like an aluminum billet one of unknown brand. So I'm guessing the clutch quadrant isn't broken, but I can't actually see it. I'm gonna have to pull the seat and actually crawl under there. Alright, so I'm crawling up under the car, and it looks like our clutch cover is still there, but it's barely hanging on. You can see how tilted it is. Can't really get to it right now. I'd have to back the car out to jack it up, and it's raining right now and everything's soaked. So I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to get to do anything to this thing today. I'm thinking it's going to have to wait for another day. I'm not going to be able to get the seat out. I'm not going to be able to get the car up in the air. I'm not going to be able to get to the clutch. It's probably just going to have to wait for another day. Wow, there was a lot of oil all over the bell housing and the clutch cover. I'm not sure what's going on with that. That's not a good sign though. I'm afraid a rear main seal might be bad or something. I'm not going to be able to get this done today or for the next few days. I don't have anyone here to help me. Chris is in school for the next few days. I work for the next few days. We don't have a day off together for another 10 days or so. I'm not sure what the forecast is looking like then, but I just don't have a place where I can put the car in the air and work on it dry. I really don't feel like going out and lifting this thing up and getting rained on. The cover I've got here isn't big enough to do the job, and it's slanted. I can't jack up the car under it. So the only place I have to put the car in the air is in the open. So I'm guessing this is going to have to wait for a few days. The good news is that will give me a chance to order some parts. And as always, we are not getting a $170 BBK adjustable anything. We're going to get some $30 Amazon knockoff. For that price, it's worth it to just go ahead and order it. I'm not sure what's wrong. The clutch quadrant appears to be in one piece, even though I can't see where the cable's connecting. It could be a stretched cable. It could be something broken in the cable somewhere. I'm not sure. The cable at the firewall looks fine, but you never know. For that 30 bucks, I'll get an all-new cable, and I'll get a firewall adjuster to take the slack out of it. That way I just have the full kit sitting here ready to go with whatever needs replaced. That should cover everything. Hopefully it's nothing in the actual pedal assembly, but I've never had a pedal assembly actually break. The pedal assembly still seems to be leveraging. It definitely feels like something in the quadrant or the cable or the firewall adjuster or something, but the firewall adjuster doesn't seem to be moving. If I had some help here, I would go under the car or under the hood and have someone pump the clutch repeatedly, try to figure out what's going on, but I don't have that right now, so I guess I'll see you in a few days. Well, I had hoped to find my adjustable clutch cable and clutch firewall adjuster to go with my BBK quadrant, but I don't know where they are. As you can see, I stripped the firewall for paint and body work, and now I can't find it. I found the pedals. I found the quadrant. I can't find anything else. I was hoping I just had that around here, and since my car won't be moving for a while, I thought maybe I would just throw it on the boys' car and get it going, but I can't find the other pieces. Good times. Since I'm here anyway, under this rain cover, and I can't jack up the car and fix the clutch quadrant, decided I'd do some little maintenance things. Decided to check our plugs, and my God, I didn't realize how lean I'd been running these things. Been tuning it through vacuum and tuning it through the old nostrils, and it smelled fine. Actually smells rich and fat at times, but the spark plugs all look like this. That's horrible. Time to fatten her up. It is a few days later, and as you can see, winter has come. But I'm going to try to get the car jacked up and see what's wrong with it. My scientific brain kicked in the other night, and I started thinking about what's wrong with this clutch pedal, what could be catching, what could be causing the problem. And it didn't really make a lot of sense. So I'm going to try to take apart the clutch cable system and see what's wrong with it. I did not order any parts for it because I'm not convinced that it's the clutch cable or the quadrant or anything. If anything, it might be the actual clutch pressure plate. Oh, that's going to suck if it is, but I'm going to freeze to death when I get this car up in the air and see if I can get this thing fixed. Well, I am miserable. The ground is actively wet, and I'm actively being rained on, despite the 0% chance of precipitation for this evening. But this is really good news. I started thinking about this the other night, and I realized what could have made this pop off of here. This is the cover that covers up the clutch. The clutch cable is supposed to come back into this little sack, for a lack of a better word. And this is locked in place despite being loose. I'm hoping this is what's catching the clutch cable. I'm going to try to get this thing off before I die of hypothermia and see if this doesn't fix the issue. Well, that cover I was just showing you was spring loaded. The moment I pulled that bolt out, it went flying off, and the bolt went rocketing under the car somewhere. I have no idea where it is. I don't really care right now. Not sure what was going on with that, but the clutch seems to be back to normal now that that thing is gone. So let's go see if the clutch pedal works. Well, that spring action of that cover and that bolt flying off seemed to have been the clutch cable releasing pressure, because the clutch pedal is back to normal. I can't believe that I got away with it being that easy. That doesn't seem right. Waiting on the other shoe to drop, waiting on something else to break. Seems way too easy. However, now I'm going to move on to seeing if I can get the choke to work properly. It is close to freezing, and this thing's never truly been driven in the cold. So let's see what happens when we try to cold start it. That wasn't too bad. It's not on the fast idle cam like I expected it to be. It should be, but it started. Oh, it is not liking that. Let's go put it on the fast idle cam for a minute and see if it gets better. Or I've got a better idea. How about I go and put that cover back on the clutch cable before I heat up the exhaust. Yeah, let's do that first. My not so educated guess is that our oil leak may have affected this. The bolt is completely coated in oil, including the threads, and there's oil all inside this cable cover. including the little nipple or sack, whatever, coated in oil inside and out. That's not good. So I'm going to clean these up. I did find the bolt. I'm going to see if I can get these things back on, and hopefully it keeps working. All right, well, it turns out one of the problems, most likely, is that this little bolt is stripped out of the bell housing. Now, I'm not 100% sure whether it was already stripped out and I just didn't notice when I installed it the first time, or if hammering on the clutch and the clutch popped it out and ripped it out of the bell housing. I'm not 100% sure, but I decided to go ahead and put this cover back on for now. I put some ultra gray on it to fix it, air quotes. I fixed it with some ultra gray, like I do. I don't have any other way to fix it right now, but hopefully this is going to hold for a little while. But that's all we're gonna do today. The clutch has its full throw back. Well, you know what, I say that, I haven't actually tried it since I put this back on. I should go do that. All right, we got the cover back on. Clutch has its full throw back. It's rebounding like normal. Hopefully the issue is solved for now. I am shocked and amazed that I got so lucky. That was such an easy fix. It's not normal around here. I really expected to need to do hours and hours of work, which would not have gotten done because I am freezing right now. Luckily we got it fixed today, because in 2 weeks, when Stephen Holtz from Just Drive It gets back, he and his boys and me and my boy are supposed to go on a cruise together, which was not going to happen if this didn't get done today, because tomorrow I have to fix my daughter's Dodge Durango. Yes, I begrudgingly work on things other than Ford Mustangs when I absolutely have to. By the way, PSA, friends, don't let friends drive 4.7 liter overhead cam Dodge Durangos. Apparently, only terrible fathers do that. Don't do it, okay? It's been a huge pain. But anyway, got to fix the Durango tomorrow in this lovely weather. And then I work the next 12 days. So I was not going to have a chance to work on this car again. But it seems I got it fixed. I can't believe it. So hopefully I am done with this thing for a while. That's the goal, just to be done with this for a little while so I can move into the garage and work on my car where it's much warmer and less rainy. Now I guess I'll see if I got this thing, if this thing will start and idle and run. I went and set the fast idle cam. So let's see how this goes. Fast idle cam is its setting. It keeps clicking off. Well, it's idling, but it is not happy at all. Ooh. Yeah, not happy at all. I just remembered that we built this car and last had the cooling system apart when it was about 105 to 107 degrees. I am 99% sure that we put straight water in it. That's not a good thing. So I'm going to go ahead and pull or drain the radiator and refill it with antifreeze. Whoops. Well, that went about as well as you'd expect it to go for me. The drain valve on our radiator just broke off in my hand. Who would have thought a 41-year-old piece of plastic would be brittle? I'm having so much fun. Alrighty, drained some water, what appears to be water. Of course, you can't tell nowadays with the stupid clear antifreeze, but drained what I could out of the radiator, replaced it with antifreeze. Now I'm gonna go on a little test drive before I have to go get my kids from school. Hey, this will be my first ever cold weather drive in the car. Let's see how this goes. The good news is she's actually running fairly well. I think I might have gotten the tune just right for this weather. No off-idle stumble or lean bog or anything. She seems to be enjoying the extra fuel I put in her a few days ago. As far as traction in this wet, freezing temperature, it's about as good as you think it is. None, absolutely none. I am feathering and being as gentle as possible. No traction whatsoever. I'm amazed, but the defroster's working. I can't believe it. We don't have a heater core, but I guess there's just enough air blowing through the defroster vents to keep the windshield from fogging over, because all the other windows are fogged over. Guessing that is not going to be a lean condition, whatever it is, because it's definitely not lean. I am pretty much breathing raw fuel vapor at this time. The good news is the clutch is back to normal. It's working fine. It was just that cover. The clutch is working great. The bad news is a torquey engine, 373 gears, 40-year-old suspension are about as much fun as I remember them being, which is to say they're not fun at all. This is miserable to drive in this weather. Fifth gear, 55 miles an hour. If I do anything but feather the smallest amount of throttle, it's just going to spin. I'm not sure how I got anywhere in one of these cars when I was a teenager in early 20s, daily driving it in this weather. Not sure how Junior's going to get anywhere in this thing, other than very, very carefully. Waiting on one of my kids to get out of school and discovered a couple things. The first is the parking brake is not happy. I guess the cold is affecting the grip on this thing. We started rolling back a little bit before it finally set. The other thing is she is running ice cold. I've test driven her. She's been running about 30 minutes. Still just absolutely ice cold. Well, look who finally showed up after all the work is done. Get in here and get warm, boy. I'm just kidding. There's no heater. It's freezing in here. And look at the, remember how we were going to rely on the engine heat that came up through the shifter handle to keep us warm? Well, look how little temperature the engine's putting out. Yeah. So, welcome to my frozen nightmare. Hey, we're going to get a little small sample, little taste of what it's going to be like to drive this thing in the wet and the cold. You ready? Hey, do you think we'll have any traction whatsoever? You think we'll survive on the way home? All right, let's try it. All right, so I thought maybe we could get by without actually putting a heater core in it, but I'm rethinking that now. So what do you think? Here in a couple of weeks, a heater core? It is less than warm in here. Got a few air leaks up here around the windows. Our 41-year-old weather stripping isn't holding really well. It's a little bit chilly in here. But we definitely are not going to be able to get the heater core in before our cruise in a couple of weeks. What do you think, buddy? Still worth going? All right. He's being a trooper. Somehow, some way, we arrived alive at home. I gave him kind of a fox body driving lesson on the way home. Feathering the throttle, no more than quarter throttle, is your friend when it's wet and cold. But we arrived alive, and I think that's it. That's it for this video. I didn't want to make this video. We weren't supposed to have a video. This thing was supposed to be running this whole time. The plan now is, other than a heater core in a few weeks, the plan now is to not touch this thing and make this our fun runabout. That'll last another couple of days, I'm sure. But I'm going to work the next 12 days. And the plan, when I get done working those 12 days, the plan is to go in the garage and start working on white trash again, where it's slightly above freezing. So, all right, that's it. Thanks. Bye.